But I'm someone who just wants everyone to be happy, you know, is my freaking political stance. Make the most people happy. Make the most people be afforded, like, you know, the best opportunities, make the most people happy, you know, is the way that I feel. Are we gonna have to go kill the robot? I think we're gonna have to. Opinion of Biden has gone down a lot because he defends his son, who is, well, he's a fan of those under 18. Oh, wait, did I just walk out the same way I came in? I'm so dumb. I'm not going through that sequence again. Screw that. No way. I'm not going through that hellhole again. But yeah, thank you, Mario, for being Mario. Yeah, he's so chill. Don't like politics because your extended family is incredibly talks about it, never stops talking about it. It's irritating. It's like, oh, my family, like, very rarely talks about politics. I'll talk about politics with, like, friendos that gosh dang, I gotta do this again, that I grew up with. If I ever see them on a university campus, which isn't as much anymore because, like, most of them have graduated. I'm, like, the one weirdo who's, like, taking his time and stuff, you know. But yeah, the external college is pointless. Yeah, it's like, why is it designed such a way? I mean, I have a pretty good idea of, like, why it's designed such a way, but that's neither here nor there. Just how to phrase things, I don't know there. Let's just see here. But yeah, not bad. Medically sanctioned torture right now. Medically sanctioned. What wound up happening, if you don't mind me asking? Did you get a case of the Rona? What's going on? But yeah, I don't like talking about politics because no matter where you stand, there's a whole cornucopia of people telling you to F off and die. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to the internet in general, it doesn't even have to be about politics. Like, it can be about basically literally anything. Like, and this can spur into something that happened yesterday, interestingly enough. But hold on, before I talk about that, there. So, wait, let's just see here. Starting a riot with this emote with the pineapple on pizza thingamabob. Physical therapy for your knee. It's been a pain for months now. Finally getting to address. Oh, geez. I hope that does help to turn things around. I know the feel of being stuck in physiotherapy. I was stuck in physiotherapy for half a year because of hip issues and wrist issues, which are partially going on to this day, but, you know, are a lot better now. Like, I don't feel like I need to be going into physio. The wrist stuff has been coming back, like, not so great, so maybe I will actually go into physio again one of these days because it's been a little while. But yeah, there's that. Pineapple's pizza is perfectly acceptable. The pizza's designed around it. Maybe. Might be a bit strange. Anyway, when it comes to, like, strange things that people will come after you for, when I was still pretty much a brand new content creator, not like brand new, I've been doing content for like a little bit under a year, I think. One of my favorite remixing channels was this person that does, well, that did Pokemon Mystery Dungeon remixes, and they lived over in France, and they made some absolutely legendary Pokemon Mystery Dungeon remixes. Like, probably my favorite Pokemon Mystery Dungeon remixes at all. They were absolutely legendary. But eventually he decided to delete all the content on his channel because apparently French copyright laws are very, very different compared to a lot of other places in the world, and he was really worried about being in hot water if he could be tied back to his original content. So just to be on the safe side, he you know, deleted, wow, all the content from that channel and then started making original content on a completely new channel. Whoa, so he just does original stuff nowadays and still makes some pretty legendary music, quite frankly. But anyway, because this content was, you know, deleted from the YouTubes, I was like, huh, this is like absolutely legendary music. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna re-upload it, but explicitly saying that it's not mine and that, you know, the original person who made it did not want to be tied to this work because, you know, they deleted all the content on their channel for that explicit reason. So putting it up just for the sake of, you know, people being able to listen to it, it being actually accessible, but, you know, not tying it to the original creator, since that isn't what the original creator would have wanted, you know, is the case. Pew. Man, it's hard to play video games and talk at the same time. So I did that, and, you know, it's probably not that fitting for, you know, a content creator like me, considering I did, you know, mostly video game kind of stuff. So, you know, anybody that, you know, finds that on the channel is gonna be like, what the heck, what is this doing here? So, like, honestly, putting that up there, yeah, it is really awesome, isn't it? So, you know, having that up on my channel honestly, like, shoots me in the foot more than anything. but I was like, I'm freaking doing it so that it's available for people. There were some other channels that re-uploaded it as well, as it turned out, which just had like full credit to the original creator. And it's like, why would you do this? The whole reason why he deleted like all his content was out of fear of French copyright laws being found in hot water. And you're just gonna like immediately put it up and be like, hey, this is the person who did it. Look at him. It's like, no, that's... So there are other re-uploaded versions of it that, you know, have way more views and such, and, you know, are the go-to ways to get that. But, you know, I think it's pretty scummy doing that, in my opinion, tying it to the original creator when they specifically want not to be tied to their work, you know, is the case. And also have a good rest of the night there, Mythic. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out. Well, it's happened a couple times that people have come after my throat because I didn't attribute credit to somebody who didn't want credit attributed to them. I've had people that are like, why did you re-upload this? You're just trying to get like easy views and like capitalize off of this content when like other people have re-uploaded this. Yeah, the other person that re-uploaded this and has way more views should be like the only one that's allowed. You should delete this. You should delete this right away, or like attribute credit to the creator who didn't want credit attributed. I'm just like, why? They freaking specifically deleted their content to not be tied to their content is the thing, because they were worried about French copyright laws. And you want me to, you know, just be like, yeah, screw you, I'm gonna like tie you to your content that you specifically want not to be tied to. But I've had some people get like really, really mad at me over that. That was something that came up again 5 months ago. Another person came after me really, really pissed off that I had re-uploaded that without credit. Yeah, that's how I feel about that situation there. So about 5 months ago, another person came after my throat about it, being like, oh, if you re-upload it, you should have like credit. And they seemed convinced that the reason why I'd re-upload it was because I was just like some malicious jerk that wanted to like capitalize off of somebody else's work to get like easy views. They clearly hadn't seen any of my other content and seen that like what like mainly gets views on my channel is, you know, video essays with playthroughs on the side. Like, music is clearly not— what is this room? Music is clearly not my kind of content. Like, I re-uploaded it out of like a passion for that work and feeling like it's something incredible that deserves to like be available for people to be able to hear. But they seemed— oh my good gracious, they seemed downright convinced that I was somebody that did it just to like reap the rewards of somebody else's hard work, essentially, and did it out of like purely selfish purposes. That's who they convinced themselves that like I was, which, you know, I as me know that that's not the case. So being— gosh dang it, what is this room? So being accused is something that you know that you're not is really, really frustrating. So I spent way longer than you'd think would have to be spent explaining the whole situation and saying like, yeah, they didn't want to be tied to their own work. Here's the original channel where you can just find like the about page left that basically says that they don't want to be tied to their own work anymore, and this is the reason why they deleted all their content and stuff. And after taking way too long to explain the situation, they were like, okay, well, you know, maybe you have a point. Sorry about that. This was 5 months ago. They reached out to me again yesterday in the same Twitter DM. And they reach out to me asking, hey, are you that guy that said that, what exactly did they say? It freaking ticked me off, so I posted it in like the venting of Discord here. What exactly was it that they said here? Let's see here. They said, hey, were you the person that said X person didn't want people to know about his past self/name? And then they post like a screenshot of the current channel that like shows the name of the previous channel, and they say like, I don't know, man. So it's like they I guess this just like lived rent free in the back of their head for like the past 5 months, and the moment they saw like some information that they felt like supported their cause from 5 months ago, they were like, huh, yeah, I don't know about your point of view then, considering their channel has like an old alias of theirs, even though it's still not tied to that old content at all. And it's still kind of besides the point. I should reach out to that, to the person whose apparently only defining character trait is that I'm the person that said that one time that they didn't want to be tied to like their old name / work. Apparently that's all they saw me as, is the guy that said the one thing the one time. Yep, that's me. That's the person that I am. I don't know if they've seen like my full channel before, just knowing that like I've re-uploaded those remixes and that's it. I don't know if they know that that's clearly not my kind of content, but they literally reached out to me yesterday to like re-stir the pot again after 5 months of absence. So I just responded to them being like, are you serious? You really reached out 5 months later to stir up drama with the person who said like that one thing the one time, when you still kind of miss the point here. The point is that they didn't want to be tied to their work because they were worried about being put in hot water by French copyright laws, is the case. Like, you've still completely missed the point here. So I blocked them, was the case. I sent like that one last message saying that and saying, screw off, leave me alone. I'm tired of being nice to you. Because like 5 months ago when they reached out to me, I tried my best to, I try my best to be professional around this channel, and even when people are like reaching out to me just because they want to hate my guts, I still try to be professional. I try not to be like one of those creators that just like blows their top like some big creators that I won't name, that might play some games like Minecraft that I won't name. I don't want to become like creators like that just like blow their top at like the slightest inconvenience. But this is somebody that I was so slow and trying my best to explain like the entire situation with 5 months ago, and they reached out like 5 months again later just to like re-stir drama again. So like I had it. I was done being nice. So I was like, please screw off, leave me alone. I'm done being nice to you. So that's probably like the harshest things I've ever said to like anybody on Twitter ever. is the case, is just saying just screw off, leave me alone. So there was that. I don't know where the freaking robot is. Probably Junk Heap Depths. I probably did all that stuff without needing to do that stuff and used all my medicinal herbs off of that. So yeah, when it comes to people coming after you for like the dumbest reasons imaginable, there's that. I've had a few people that have come after me because they want me to attribute credit to somebody who didn't want credit attributed to them, and have gotten like really, really mad over it. And you know, some of them have just been in YouTube comments. That one case had reached out to me on Twitter 5 months ago, and then again yesterday. So I was really, really stunned about that. Like, really, you really let this live rent free in your mind for 5 months, and then wanted to like reignite the pot. Reignite the pot, restir the pot. I don't know how to phrase things. Is the case. So the reason for that is either one of two things. Is one, they're just someone that wants to stir up drama and, you know, bring themselves up by putting other people down, which I assume is the more logical thing there. Or two, is that they let it live rent free in their mind for the past 5 months and didn't even understand what I was trying to what it was that I was trying to say there. My goodness gracious. I was like, things like that, I know that you shouldn't let things like that linger. You should just let them be, but I can't help but dwell on those kinds of things. So I had trouble sleeping last night because I couldn't just help but dwell on it, being like, which of these cases is it? Like, what the heck is going on there, you know? Possibly they forgot about, saw something that reminded them of it and got angry again, possibly. But the thing is, like, the creator in question, who you know, in case anybody does want to, you know, check out the person's original content that they make nowadays, I'll just say the name here is Scarblown District, who honestly makes some awesome original music. I've used some of it in my videos sometimes, and you know, I've reached out to him before being like, hey, can I use my music or your music in my videos and stuff? And he's been like, yeah, no problemo there. And he seems like a super chill guy from what I can tell, who makes like some really awesome stuff. So, you know, anyone who wants to reach out to him can just go to like the about page on his channel, reach out to his email. Just like anybody can technically do that with like my email on my channel if they really want to reach out to me through email. It's not like it's some secret how to contact me or anything like that. So what I determined, like when I was thinking about that, I determined that it must have been like one of two things with this person. One was just, you know, they just wanted to stir up drama. Or two is that they let it live rent-free in their mind for 5 months and not once in the past 5 months thought about just asking the creator in question what the answer is. If they if they mind people re-uploading their work with/without links to them when they specifically didn't want to be tied to it for French copyright laws, you know, was the case there. They had 5 months to just ask if they really wanted the answer. If it really was living so rent-free in their mind for 5 months, just ask. Instead of taking like random guesses in whatever way best supports the way that, you know, they can throw down someone else, I guess. That's what leads me to believe that they just want to, like, you know, throw somebody under the bus, essentially. Because if they did care about what the answer was and did genuinely want to come to the truth of, like, what did the original creator most wish for, why don't you ask the original creator? Like, just freaking ask him. Just freaking go to his about page, check the email, do the CAPTCHA so that, you know, people that are bots can't send out emails. Do the little super easy CAPTCHA, say I'm not a robot, get the email, go to Gmail, put in the email, compose an email being like, hey, do you mind people re-uploading your stuff and not attributing credit when you specifically didn't want to be tied to your work because of copyright laws, and that's the whole reason you made a new channel and do only original stuff now? Do you mind that? Thanks, just really wanted the answer to solve a dispute. But rather than doing that, they'd rather just like take guesses and be mad about it. Head was so empty, and the one that was bouncing around took them 5 months to catch it, maybe. But situations like that just genuinely flabbergast me. So on the topic of, like, you know, sharing political opinions and people getting mad at you, like, no matter what your stance is, while that is most commonly seen in the realm of politics, you'll also just see it in the realm of literally anything, especially if you're a content creator. Like, I have had people come after me for, like, the strangest possible reasons. Like, that's gotta be one of the strangest. Alright, well, this is the Undertale genocide route. We're doing the thingamabob. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had to come to this. So, yeah. So that's probably the most crazy recent situation that I've had with with the online space like that. So there's that. Well, yeah, I think we just gotta beat him again. This is big sad. Yeah, this is real big sad there. So yeah, considering they came after me again after coming after me in comments, then coming after me in Twitter DMs, and then doing it again after 5 months. Hi, silly doggy. I wouldn't be surprised if after being blocked on Twitter, they freaking made it their mission to, like, reach out to me on other platforms that they're not blocked on. Because that's usually how these things go. So, like, I'll update the story and lore if that happens, I guess. Hi. Hi there. You want to relax? You want to lie down and relax? No, not quite yet. Is this just a big clump of fur from you? It is. My goodness gracious. You shed so much. And you want a treat from that anima nerd? Really? Really? The treats are almost out in that box, so, like, I'll be getting rid of that box in the nearest future here, most likely. Maybe I'll still keep, like, treats on the side here on, like, one of the shelves. Because she's gotten so accustomed to, like, shoving her head in that box, being like, there's treats in here, I want the treats. Jesse. Dog, 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 dog. Dog, dog, dog. Usually I say not giving her a treat when she's, like, begging for it like that. I'll give it to her sometime later when she's, you know, just chilling and stuff. But since I'm streaming, I'll make an exception this time. Let's see here. Let's see. about one of these turkey treats? Oh. How about one of those? But how about you do something for it? Can you speak? Good girl. Good girl. There you go. Wow. But yeah, let's see here. Pokemon fans don't be completely effing insane challenge literally impossible. It's funny because it's not even like, you know, Pokemon fans as a whole. Anything like that. It's not even a majority or like a significant part, I would say. It's just that like those that are so insanely outspoken are so insanely outspoken to the degree that they like stand out so much, you know? So while I get like some absolutely ludicrous comments from like super diehard Pokemon fans, like it's absolutely not a majority or anything like that. It's just the fact that like those who are so outspoken make the most crazy outlandish claims that stand out so much that it feels like they leave a lot more of an impact that they do. On my most recent discussion of the most recent Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer, I had some, like, my chief complaint with it was that I still don't understand what the game actually is in these trailers. Like, there have been a few trailers that have come out at this point, but I still don't really understand what the game is at the end of the day. So that's my chief complaint. I had somebody get really, really mad at me for that and tell me, like, oh, it's really easy to figure out what it is if you actually just pay attention. I was like, okay, so what is it then? And then they clearly went around like Googling all the information they could possibly find and gave me like their freaking 3-page essay. And I was like, okay, rephrase. How does this trailer show all those things that you just listed out there? And they didn't have an answer to that. So instead of taking the stance of it's really easy to understand if you just pay attention, they instead changed their stance and instead said, a trailer's not supposed to tell you what a game is. You're supposed to buy and play the video game to find out what it is. It's like, yes, I'm sure everybody just goes to the store and like randomly eeny, meeny, miny, mo's games off the shelf and just hopes that they get something good. It's not like video game companies spend millions of dollars. It's not like any company with anything to advertise at all spends millions of dollars just to get people to understand what their product is. It's not like that's one of the most important things in all of marketing. That'd be ridiculous. But that's just the thing about like so many like diehard fans. If you call them out for something ridiculous and they have to shift their stance, they'll just shift to something even more ridiculous without realizing how ridiculous it sounds. Like, it's like they don't hear themselves speak. Like, I've seen some very outlandish and drastic claims in the comments of my videos before, but I still feel like the one that has stunned me, at least one of the ones that stunned me the most, is the person that said a trailer isn't supposed to tell you what the game is. You're supposed to go buy it and then find out. Like, that genuinely has to be like one of the most ludicrous things I've ever heard in my life. And I feel like anyone with if I'm just gonna like purely speak my mind, I feel like anyone that can think logically would know that that's clearly not the case. If you have like even the slightest, smallest idea of how marketing works, you know, and why it exists. You think people make commercials just for fun? Just because they're like zany and wacky? Like, that's not how it works there. But yeah, let's just see here. Pokemon streamers do the strangest shit. They really do, honestly. But yeah, you're an insane Pokemon fan, but you believe the insanity is unrelated. Yeah, I'm an insane Pokemon fan, but not that kind is the thing. Like, obviously, like anyone who looks at my room would know, obviously. Like, there's so many people that go to my Pokemon essays and are like, oh, he's criticizing the games. He's just some guy that's like hating the games because it's like what's cool to do and it's what gets him views. Like, he's doing nothing but hating it and can't say anything positive about it, even though I do say a lot of positive things about them. It's like, anybody who looks at my room like once clearly knows that I'm a freaking mega fan of this series and just want it to be the best that it can be. Like, I recently had a Zoom meeting with the head of the game certificate program at my university, basically talking about like my path and, you know, what classes I need to take and stuff like that. And when he saw my room in the Zoom meeting, he was like, oh, so you're a pretty big Pokemon fan, aren't you? I was like, Yeah, I guess you could say that. I guess you could certainly say that. Hate the games because you used to love them? Yeah. And now they're just like below mediocre at best. Like, something that I might bring up in my Scarlet and Violet essay, like, if Scarlet and Violet goes the way that I think that it's going to, which, you know, the games thus far have been with BDSP and Legends Arceus, so I'd be surprised if, I'd be very surprised if Scarlet and Violet surprise me, but, you know, if it does wind up being the same quality as BDSP and Legends Arceus, then the stance that I'm probably going to maintain that I've recently been thinking of, and by recently I mean like the past couple days it's come to my attention, the comparison that I want to draw is I feel that Pokemon is to the gaming industry what McDonald's is to the restaurant industry. That's just a thought that like came into my head like a couple days ago, and I just thought like, wow, that's really the way to describe it, isn't it? So here's like the crazy phase 2. Wow, crazy. It's gonna go into crazy flight mode and stuff. Well, phase 2. Like that there, Morris? Yeah. Literally 2 days ago, it popped into my head. I was like, huh, that's a really good way to describe it, isn't it? So I'm gonna use that freaking analogy in my Scarlet and Violet essay, unless Scarlet and Violet actually turns out to be like freaking amazing. Unless that turns out to be the case. You can see if a person who go with Pokemon is to gaming, what Marvel is to cinema. I mean, yeah, nowadays you could definitely make that. Can we just let them go then? I feel bad. I feel bad. I just want to let them go. The game's not gonna let me. The game's not gonna let me. I feel bad. Anyway, I might make a comparison to Marvel when I make my Xenoblade Chronicles 3 essay. I've been working on the script recently. It'll be a long time before I put out that video essay, and I might just wait until like all the DLC content is out, and then I can do like a full essay. But one of my biggest complaints with, I did love the story of Xenoblade 3 at the end of the day. Like, I love the Xenoblade series, and I did love the story of Xenoblade 3. I just feel like it was told in a kind of frustrating way, and like it's probably the weakest entry in the series. I still think it was awesome. Like, even weakest in the series, it still means like it's freaking incredible just because of how awesome Xenoblade is and how next level they make their plots. I just feel like that one, like, really lacked. It kind of fell behind in some ways, and one of the biggest reasons for that is I felt like the plot was like way too convenient. Like, Xenoblade 1 and 2 felt a lot more driven by the actions of the characters in the story. Like, things were happening as a consequence of the characters' actions. Whereas in Xenoblade 3, things just kind of felt like they were happening the way that they happened because that's the way they needed to happen. And that's the way that like modern Marvel movies go. So like, I might just make like that kind of comparison, like that kind of plot comparison at least with Xenoblade 3 and modern Marvel movies, where a kind of frustrating thing is the fact that things are happening not because it's a consequence of the character's actions, but just because that's the way that things need to happen, you know? Just because that's the way it needs to be. Don't get me wrong, I love the story of Xenoblade 3, but I do think it's my least favorite in the trilogy. If you count the whole series, then Xenoblade X would be the least favorite, considering it's a freaking cliffhanger that's gone unanswered for 7 years now. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, let's see here. The stuff that I missed I need to catch up on. What was the one talking in general the other day about Legends Arceus graphic? It was just after the GTA 6 leaks. There have been some things going around on Twitter recently after the GTA 6 leaks where people have been comparing, like, people complaining that BDSP or Legends Arceus were incomplete before release to like GTA 6 being incomplete before release, because there are some people complaining that GTA 6, a far incomplete game, is incomplete. It's like, no duh, it's in like early development, you know? But when a game is far enough along in development that they're releasing trailers like Pokemon BDSP, Legends Arceus, or Scarlet and Violet, where the game is only like a handful of months out and it's still looking incomplete, that's very different than a game being in like early production to the point that nobody's even supposed to see footage of it publicly yet. It just got leaked out. These are like not equal things, not at all. But people have been comparing them as like the same, being like, oh yeah, people are saying that GTA 6 looks incomplete, but these same people are complaining that like BDSP and Legends Arceus looks incomplete before they came out. You're not allowed to say that games are incomplete before they came out. It's like, bruh, there's a difference between a game being incomplete when it's actually incomplete and in like early development, and a game looking incomplete when it's 2 months out from release. You know, these aren't equivalent things, but yet people will just like deal with them as if they're equivalencies. It's like, yes, BDSP, Legends, Scarlet and Violet being unfinished games all the way through into release, compared to GTA 6 being incomplete in early production. Yes, these are clearly the same thing. BDSP is a crime against humanity, I think. Yeah, BDSP's gotta break like some sort of a, I'm pretty sure it breaks the Geneva Convention, honestly. Like, it's honestly pretty out there. But yeah, so there's that. Let's see here. But yeah. It's like McDonald's, but you pay 80 dolans to buy a Big Mac. Yeah. Yeah, basically. I don't want to kill you guys. No. No. Oh, there it is. Well, there's a bunch of them now. Well. Also, the Doogie started relaxing. I don't have the Doogie cam on right now because she's like around the corner. She's here. So, you know, that's why the Doogie cam is not on right now. It's because she's there. Whoa. But, you know, she's chilling and dozing off. She might even be asleep. Oh, no. I see her eyes moving. Hey, Jesse? Jesse, hey. Hi. Do you want to come over here? You want to come over here? Nope. Nope. You can relax there if you want. I won't force you. I genuinely feel kind of bad. But I'm pretty sure the game's going to force me to do this. I'm sure they'll be saved next time. Like, probably next playthrough we'll have everyone be saved and stuff. Probably. I don't know. Let's just see here. But yeah, expect the Scarlet and Violet will be good as almost all Game Freak games are, but more forgettable and redundant than other Pokemon games before them. Yeah, maybe. Might well be the case. You're joking before, but you put on a Power of NieR remix and it fits surprisingly well with this fight. And then there's the not to mention the game's literally being released without half the game. Yeah, that was the case with a BDSP. Like, it was a, I know that it was a joke there about BDSP being a crime against humanity and stuff, but the whole idea of releasing a game physically, but only half the game is on there and you have to provide space for the other half. Like, if I were some like all-powerful dictator over the world that could make whatever rules, I would call into question whether that should be legal. You know? Because if you want to buy digitally, go buy digitally. If you want to buy physically, you should get like the game. Like, of course there's gonna be things like a day one patch or additional content after release if they're doing something like that. But you shouldn't just literally have like half your game locked behind the day one patch just because it's more convenient, you know? Like, that's genuinely downright one of the scummiest things I've probably ever seen in the gaming industry, you know? I'm sure they'll be fine next route. We're doing genocide this route, but I'm sure they'll be fine next route, right? I feel kind of bad.
Together, we be alone. We be cry.
You.
You stupid machine! You killed my family! You took everything from me!
He didn't, though.
Why did you have to be here? Why you? Why?
Beautiful. What a perfect example of humanity.
Wow. Well, he's just gonna be bashing that now, I guess. But yeah, take care, Anima. I hope you have an awesome rest of the night there. Here's what we do. We take Gen 4, add none of the shit from the third version that made the game good. Add some mild quality of life features, and cut half the game off the cart. Easy hot dog. Yep. Essentially.
Still be alive.
Well, BSP makes you so angry, Sinnoh deserves better. Pokemon's best generation deserves better. We as people deserve better. Yeah, honestly. Sometimes I do get comments on my BDSP video essay being like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. The game was perfect. And sometimes I wonder if they're memeing or if they're like actually serious.
Hey, come on. That's enough.
I did it! Now that this goddamn thing is dead, I can forage wherever I want. Just wait, you goddamn freak. Now
You're the one who's kind of the freak.
Powerful weapons.
Just saying.
Just leave it to me. Leave it all to me.
Look, we get it, okay?
Oh. Yeah. Sinnoh titles, originally at least, are pretty cool. And same. Same. I mean, evidently, but, Alright, well.
Hatred and madness will never heal a wounded heart.
That's right.
Maybe it's just all he's capable of right now.
Revenge is a fool's errand.
Yeah, I know.
Bam. Law of robotics key fragment. Okay. Anyway. As we wrap up the talk about, like, if only I had the power to change things, since we were talking briefly about political stuff earlier, I don't want to get, like, too crazy, like, into political stuff, but one thing that I do for sure want to share is the thing that most frustrates me in the world, like, probably just in general, is that those with the power to make big change and pull, like, the big levers that can, like, really put us on a better course towards change typically aren't going to be bothered to do so until it gets around that it's directly going to affect them or they have something to gain from it. Like, that's what we kind of see when it comes to things like climate change, for example, where, you know, do it if that's what's gonna, do it like a little smidge if it's gonna be what gets you some votes and stuff, but not, you know, actually work towards major changes to energy infrastructure or anything like that.
Drop by the village.
So, my political views are basically like, have the most people happy, give the most people, like, the most opportunities, have this planet turn out the best, and the thing that downright frustrates me the most in the world is just the fact that most people that have the ability to make change typically aren't going to do so until they actually need to, until the problem arrives, like, right on their doorstep.
Very well.
That's the thing that frustrates me most in the world. But yeah. Diamond Pearl are kind of bled, but Platinum fixed literally every problem with it and has a special place in our, oh yeah, Platinum is real cool there. I think it's fair for some publishers to exempt some content from cartridge to save manufacturing costs. I think that's helping you to buy some good games cheap on sale, but not accept it with a full price $80 Canadian game package. The Witcher 3 sells for $80, but it helps to justify the price tag with a 32GB cartridge. Yeah, or in my BDS piece essay there, when I was drawing parallels to some other examples, one of the examples that I mentioned was the Assassin's Creed Rebel collection, which is Assassin's Creed 4 and Rogue. And that cartridge comes with, like, just 4, and you have to download Rogue separately. But, you know, 4 is already one of the largest open world games that was ever made available on the Wii U, straight up. Rogue was never made available on a Nintendo console before that. And the game itself, like, here in Canada, a full price game is $80. The Rebel collection by default is $50, and when it's on sale, which is a lot, physically, I believe it's on sale for like $30. It's on sale right now at the time of streaming this. I think the sale is ending tonight. I was browsing through the eShop earlier. It's on sale for like $18 right now. For one of the largest open world games that was ever on the Wii U and my favorite Assassin's Creed game. And another just as large open world game with like the same kind of idea of like go around, be piratey and stuff, you know? It's like, wow, that's a freaking bargain. So, you know, if they're cutting out some content there off of the cartridge so that, you know, it can be put out there easier and, you know, be sold for cheaper if you're buying it as like, you know, $18 digitally or $30 physically. I think in the States it goes on sale for like either $25 or $20 like physically. Like, it's a freaking bargain deal. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't mind it, you know, having a lot of, like, half the content digitally in that case, if you're gonna give me that much of a bargain. But if you're gonna charge me $80 for, like, what is it? Over a decade-old game. When did it come out? Came out in, like, 2006. Something like that. So, you know, what is it now? is getting purda old at this point. For a game that's old. Gonna charge me $80 for a barely changed game from 2006 when I can play a better version of the same game from, what was it, 2009? No, it was Pokemon Mystery Dungeon 1 came out in 2006. That's what I'm getting confused with. Diamond and Pearl was 2008, I think. Unless I'm losing my mind. I think I had the 2006 release date mixed up with Blue and Red Rescue Team, is what I think I'm thinking of. But yeah, if you're gonna resell me a game from 2008 or 2007 or whatever it is, barely changed, when there's a better version from 2009 or 2010, and you can't even be bothered to give me the full game, that's like genuinely an embarrassment. Okay, so it was 2007. Gotcha. I think it was 2007 Japan and then like 2008 rest of the world. And the 2006 that I had in my head was Blue and Red Rescue Team. But yeah, there's that. But yeah, there's that there. Recently bought the Rebel Collection cartridge brand new for $30 Canadian. Yeah, that was how I bought the Rebel Collection cartridge. Freaking bargain. Like one of the best purchases on the Switch, honestly.